So I recently saw an OVA called Ensemble Insert. It was a Gag Idol Tokuhiro mecha anime. It was as if one person wanted to make a hero show and another wanted an idol show, and they just decided to, do both at the same time, Reese's style. I loved it. This is Madon. She has super strength and super moe, which is much more powerful in my opinion.
Hi.
Some scenes remind me a lot of Creamy Mommy. She even has a rival idol she steals the spotlight from. The rival is even an Ojo and does the It's classic. It's your bread and butter 80s idol anime, and it's mixed with a bread and butter mecha OVA, like something like Relic Armor Legacium or Ariel. Even has an evil organization with minions hellbent on world domination, and a secret government organization that works to counter them by developing new secret weapons. Just so happens that Kochi here, producer man, also wants the weapon to be an idol. It's so fun.
オーディション前はこのように無粋なデザインじゃった。合格したのが女の子だったので少し改良してこうなった。以上。
わかりやすい説明だったな。
This anime also just proves my assertion that mecha fans and idol fans have a lot in common. People often laugh at me when I try to bring this up, but why do you think Frame R's Girls exists, or Symphogear, or Macross? We'll get to that one. They even share the same studio for their favorite anime, right? There's a real bond between these two otaku groups that I find really interesting. I think it comes down to how similar the two genres are. What an idol does when she goes on stage is take on the world with nothing to rely on but herself. As an idol fan, I would say the most important part of an idol's performance is when she gets to be herself. The best are the ones that portray their own character at an intimate level. But when she's up on stage, she has to perform at superhuman levels in any case. Often when starting out, the main character of an idol anime are unsure of themselves and only gains confidence through her own performance. But this is just a facet of the classic hero character, isn't it? Hikaru, Amuro, Shinji, Luke Skywalker all don't want anything to do with war or fighting or getting into the robot, but they're forced into it through circumstance. But that's how you know they're the hero, right? They take up the responsibility because no one else will. The same thing happens in idol anime. When the school club is going to be shut down and the idol has to make a performance of their life to save it, it's less drastic circumstances than human annihilation, but the stakes are still there. What's important is what comes after. If mecha needs robot fights, idols need spectacle performances. They both can have transformation or combination sequences, which is usually reserved for the super robot or magical idol variety. And that's another similarity. It's the same dynamic as well. A magical idol is a superhuman being of unmatched beauty and grace, and she does things nobody understands but everyone just accepts. The real idol, on the other hand, works really hard and competes in tournaments or strategizes for success against the odds. But in the end of the day, what's happening is a confrontation of wills, most likely against a rival character or rival unit. Now you might be thinking of genocidal aliens as too villainous, but how many rival characters in mecha do you know that either become friends with the hero or has a noble goal and are simply swept up in their own circumstance? A hero in their own story. Again, this is how you know they're the good guys. The hero has to confront them to proceed, and it's through this confrontation that the hero really accepts their role as pilot of the war machine when they were only assigned to it in the beginning. And it's the same way for the idol. They have to decide they want to win. And it's through this determination that they become the true owners of their destiny. It's no secret that a lot of mecha creators, or anime creators in general, are fans of idols themselves. And I'm sure a lot of idol anime creators are fans of mecha as well. But the first time the two really crossed paths in any meaningful way was a little low-budget show called Super Dimension Fortress Macross. Macross did huge things for the otaku community and the anime industry at large. It wasn't only the first time mecha and idols came together, it was the first time, to my knowledge, a real-life idol was born from an anime. This ushered in a new age of casting real-life talent to generate, more wealth and buzz for the record industry, which over time took over from toy companies as the primary source of funding in the anime industry. It all started here. As the show progresses, Hikaru becomes the archetypical mecha protagonist, and Minmay the archetypical idol protagonist. And both of their stories are being told at the same time. That's one of the reasons this show is beloved by so many. It takes two different otaku cultures and mixes them in the same narrative. Hikaru only fly jets because he thought they were cool, right? He wanted to fly just because he thought it was awesome. It was something he was passionate about. And who else but Minmay would go ahead and become an idol in this dire time? It's a story of these two different people being united by a love of culture and a passion for the things they love, despite being told it's wrong and useless. It's the story of the origins of otaku culture made into anime. The relationship between idols and mecha is not a new idea at all. In the original Japanese 80s college SF clubs, where the word otaku was first used as it is now, Idol Oda and Annie Oda both worked together to create the first otaku identity, and their cultures merged alongside tokusatsu fans, model and figure fans, survival game fans, video game fans, Sailor Uniform fans, Bishoujo fans, train fans, sci-fi fans, and so on.
一回止まったらもう二度と抜け出すことはできないけどな。
When I say things like otaku community, I'm referring to those who can trace their hobby back to the foundations in those original clubs. Macross was the first anime that was made for these otaku, by these otaku. Even the foundations of Gainax are traced back to the original Macross. It was a simple idea, to create a show where culture wins over war. It's the love of humanity that pushes Hikaru to protect their culture, and Minmay to sing for it. When you see Minmay dry her tears and go to sing, tell me what this is. If it's not Minmay piloting her own robot called Mari Ijima, Minmay the girl becomes Minmay the idol. This transformation is more literal in Magical Idol anime, but the same concept is there. In the end, Hikaru and Minmay go their separate ways, despite their connection. The original Macross was a brilliant light, it just burned out way too fast. It was a single moment where both otaku groups could come together to cheer it on. But I think the biggest similarity and the biggest thing that factors into the relationship between these two genres is just the larger-than-life spectacle they represent. The feeling I get from imagining a giant war machine beyond the hills outside is quite similar to what I feel when I see an idol strike that perfect pose. They bring childlike dreams to life. Robots and idols are a romance of the heart that you can't really explain. You have to feel it. And if you still think this connection is a bit too far-fetched, I'll have to ask you about the last time you cheered for an encore when your idol's color timer was running out, and she came back from the brink stronger than ever. Who do you think the children who love Toku Hero stage shows grew up to be? This has been Miracle. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Take it easy. Due to some popular demand, I started a Patreon. I was recently denied monetization, so you can support me there if you like my work enough. As of now, it's just a way to support me, but I have plans for more things in the future. And if you want to have more otaku discussions with me, the link to the community Discord is over there as well. Link to this is in the description. More announcements will come in the future. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you around.